Hi again, and welcome back to my kitchen, to Cora's Healthy Cooking. We're going to do a lemon pepper chicken, grilled chicken today. We're going to do roasted beets and a awesome guacamole. Okay, surgical gloves, you know, Cora and her surgical gloves. Everything's got to be clean and antibacteria. So we're using, I always use organic free-range chicken, always. And I find that this Murray's Natural, certified humane is just a delicious chicken. You can get organic chicken anywhere. Just make sure that it's organic because you don't want all those antibiotics in your chicken. The ingredients that I'm using today. Now, Vincent Sirasol, who I know a lot of you know from Fitness Incentive, he sells the vegetables in the vestibule. His garlic is not only organic, but it's the best garlic I've ever tasted. He is available every other day during the week and through the season. His garlic is phenomenal. Now, here's his garlic. This is where he sells it. I peel it and I have it all ready to go in a little glass container. I use a lot of garlic, as you knew from my last video. I'm going to use olive oil, a little bit of olive oil. Now, I use Greek olive oil or this Italian Frantoia or olive oil that I absolutely love. The flavors are excellent. The Greek olive oil is available at Trader Joe's, but again, that's up to you. Any kind of olive oil will do. I'm going to use smoky salt, and I'll give you all the resources at the end of the show. Lemon pepper, no salt lemon pepper. I'm using sea salt, black pepper, and this is optional, sriracha. Sriracha is a hot sauce. It comes in a garlic form and a regular hot sauce. You don't have to use this because this, for most individuals, it's a little too spicy. I like everything spicy, so I'm using sriracha. So what I'm going to do first, before I even wash my chicken, I'm going to put in this pan a little bit of olive oil. You don't need a lot, just enough to keep your chicken nice and moist. Now, marinating, that's up to you. You can marinate this chicken for 10 minutes. You can do it overnight. It depends on how much time you have. Then I'm going to use quite a lot of garlic. I use, for 2 packages of chicken, which would be 6 chicken cutlets, I use like 6 garlic cloves. So, and they're pretty nice size. And again, this Vincent Sirasol's garlic is just amazing. It's juicy, it's sweet, it's excellent. So that's 2. And get yourself a good garlic press. It's important. That makes a difference. Your tools that you use in the kitchen are so important. Makes your job a lot easier. Sharp knives, good garlic press, good tongs, everything that you use. Okay, so this is good with the garlic. One more piece. So cover this garlic and we'll go on to the next. We're going to add a little bit of the smoky salt, and I like smoky salt. It gives everything that really delicious barbecue flavor. Now, the lemon pepper, I use a good 4 tablespoons. I'm an aggressive spicer. I like a lot of spice, so that's like 4 tablespoons. Next, a little bit of sea salt. And that, again, is up to you. You don't even have to use sea salt if you don't want to. The sriracha has some salt in it. Black pepper. And everything is to your liking. You don't have to use as much as I use. You can just, judge it on your own. And because I used garlic, this is the garlic sriracha. I'm not going to use that one. I'm just going to use the regular sriracha. This is available at Whole Foods. It's available through Amazon. You can get this anywhere, and it just adds a good spicy kick. Again, not necessary, especially if you have children who might not have such spicy food. I use like 5 tablespoons, but 2 will do fine for you. Okay, so we have our chicken. I rinse it under cold water and place it on paper towels. You want to dry your chicken off before you put it in the marinade, so the marinade really adheres nicely to the skin and doesn't slip off. But before I do that, I cut all the fat off the chicken. Now, you don't have to use chicken cutlets. I like chicken cutlets. You can do whatever your preference is. I dry the top of the chicken. Then with a really nice sharp knife, and this is my ceramic knife that I told you about last time. I just like you have to have a good tool in the kitchen to cut your meats properly. So I just inspect the chicken. I cut off all visible fatty parts. Sometimes if the cutlet is a little thick, I'll even cut it in half, or in this case, the tenderloin can be cut off like this, so you have a smaller piece. So you'll repeat the process and finish up all your cutlets. Put it right in your pan until it's all done. Okay, I use this cutting board only for chicken. I don't mix my cutting board, so that's something you should remind yourself of. My chicken is all cleaned, and now it's just sitting in the marinade. With my surgical gloves, I toss the chicken. And when you see it, you think that it's not enough marinade. It's plenty. You'll see it. Just make sure it's well coated. Give it a nice massage. And at this point, if you're going to make the chicken right away, you can go set your grill outside. Or if you're going to make it tomorrow, just put a foil on it and stick it in your refrigerator. It doesn't matter. It tastes the same, whether you leave it overnight or not. It's not going to ruin your chicken. So I'm going to leave that there, remove my surgical gloves, and we're going to go on to showing you how to roast the beets. We're going to make the organic beets, also a delicious product from Vincent, the organic vegetable man at Fitness Incentive. If you can get organic beets, wonderful. Beets are so good for you. They're high in folic acid. They have great vitamins. Roasted, they come out like candy. So I have preheated my oven. I have a convection oven. So I preheat it to 375 for the beets. You have to gauge it according to your oven. You can do 350, 375. I find that 375, because it's such a hard root vegetable, that it roasts a lot faster and nicer. So what we're going to do here is, again, a little bit of olive oil of your choice on your pan. You don't need a lot of olive oil, just a tiny bit, so that the beets don't stick to your pan. Before you put the beets on, and I'm going to actually wash them and clean them, I'll show you how to do that. We're going to put a little bit of salt on the bottom of the pan. And that's, again, up to you. You don't have to use salt. If you're on a sodium-free diet, don't use salt. I love salt. I use salt on everything. And black pepper. And the way I work out and sweat, salt is important in my diet. Now I'm going to show you how I wash and peel these beets. Surgical gloves again, because beets stain your hands. They stain everything. Let's put the beets in a colander. So if you want to take a look here, have the beets in the colander. Just give them You don't have to really rinse them off a lot because you're going to peel everything off anyway. You can either use a sharp little paring knife or a good peeler. And also, the knives that you use, the peelers that you use, invest in a good one because it'll make your job so much easier. So you take the little top off, bottom off, and you can just peel around if you're good at peeling. Or if you're not a good peeler, use your potato peeler. And this, you know, seems like it's time consuming. It isn't. You get so used to doing this. You should cook for your family. It doesn't take a lot. I'm giving you simple, easy meals to make. Hopefully you'll get in the habit of cooking. Make your meals on Sunday. Make enough food that will last till Wednesday, Thursday, and then repeat the process. So there's your beet, all peeled. I'm gonna give it one more little rinsing. I'm gonna take the red off, and we're going to put it on this cutting board here. What you want to try to make sure you do with the beets, and they're hard vegetable, make sure you have a good grip on it, that you make them even in size. Otherwise, the roasting process is not good. Some will be ready, some won't be ready. So try to make even little cubes of your beets and throw them right on the pan. So there goes our first beet. I'm going to do the others, throw it in the oven, and they take a good 50 minutes to sometimes a little over an hour to get a real good caramelized, tasty beet. Toss them occasionally, set a timer every 15 minutes, toss them. You'll know when they're ready. It takes about an hour. You want to get your grill screeching hot, over 500. That's how you really make some delicious chicken. And lay your chicken on. You want to almost cook it all the way through on one side. Then just flip it over and finish it fast on the other side. That's how you end up with delicious, juicy chicken. So we're going to put our chicken on. Close our cover and come back to it later. So now we're making guacamole. It's very simple. Again, with the surgical gloves, I always wear surgical gloves. We're going to need a little bit of cayenne pepper, a little sea salt and black pepper, a fresh lime. I buy the Hass avocados. These are Hass organic avocados, whatever you can get. Fresh jalapenos, fresh cilantro. The baby organic tomatoes, that's up to you. If you use them, put them in whole, because if you cut them, it makes your guacamole very watery and it makes it turn dark fast. You can use a red onion or scallions, or you don't have to use onion at all if you don't want. And our fresh garlic also, again from Vincent. So the first thing I do is cut my lime in half and squeeze one whole lime, because I use quite a few. Sometimes I use 5, 6 avocados. We eat avocados every day. That is a good fat that you should introduce in your diet. I am not afraid of eating fat. That is delicious. Olive oil I use walnut oil, I use avocados all the time. They even sell avocado oil, which is so good for you. So I have my limes in there. And the lime is important. It gives it that nice flavor, but it also helps your avocado from not turning that black color as fast. So we're going to add maybe 1 or 2 cloves of garlic. You don't want too much garlic. You don't want it to be overpowering. Depending on how many avocados you use. If you're using just 1 or 2 avocados, don't use more than 1 garlic. I'm using 2. fresh garlic. Set that aside. Take our cilantro. Now, I like a lot of cilantro. I love the flavor of cilantro. Cilantro is a funny herb. Either you love it or you hate it. It's got great qualities. It actually has antimicrobial factors in your body. So I use almost the entire package. I'm going to throw it in here, rinse it well. I'm going to grab some paper towel to lay my cilantro on. You don't want to put wet herbs into your guacamole. And we'll go back to the cilantro in just a moment. Now again, I like everything spicy, so I'm going to use 2 and a small, 2.5 jalapenos. And these are also organic jalapenos. Now, the jalapeno, use surgical gloves when you handle jalapenos, and remind yourselves, if you like spicy, you can keep the seeds in there, so you'll cut it. If you don't like spicy, take the seeds right out. Take the ribs and the seeds out. I keep them in. I like spicy. I can tolerate a lot of heat, but if you can't, if you take all the ribs and those seeds out, you'll omit all the spice, all that heat. You're getting the flavor of the jalapeno, but not the heat. Okay, now we're using the red onion, also an organic onion. Take the outer skin off. And you don't really need to use a whole onion. Sometimes it's just too much. A half an onion is fine. Now the onion, I prefer having it chopped pretty fine and right into my bowl. Now, as my cilantro was drying, I actually took all the stems off. You don't want to keep the stems in. Sometimes they impart a bitter flavor. So pull the stems off and try to be left with just the leaves. I mean, you don't have to be perfect with it, but those heavy stems are a little woody and, again, can be bitter. So let's put our cilantro right here on our cutting board. And this is something else that I like to sometimes have it chunky or chop it pretty fine. Again, this is where a good sharp knife comes in handy. If your knife is sharp, not sharp, you're not going to get a good chop. So far we have the lime, the garlic, onions, cilantro. Next, we're going to cut up our avocados. Make sure that they're a little giving to the touch. If they're too soft, sometimes you go to cut it open and it's black. Get rid of it. Start again. Cut your avocado. The most effective way to get your pit out is take a sharp knife, hit it, turn it. Very easy. I score it to cubes. And with a spoon, some people turn it inside out, but I find it faster to just take a spoon, put it right in your bowl. Now there's a little stem part here that you should take out before you cut, if you can, because sometimes it gets mixed into your guacamole and you don't want that little hard part of the stem. I'm getting hungry. It's lunchtime. That was a beautiful one, actually. So the chicken came off the grill, and look at those grill marks. It smells unbelievable, and my camera woman and I are going to be eating this as soon as we're done with this. We're starving. So we're going to take a peek at our beets and how they're doing. There we go. They look beautiful. They're glistening. They look great. They're sizzling. And they need another 20 minutes or so. But that's how they should look. Back in the oven. And let's go back to our guac and finish that off. So we have all the ingredients in the bowl for our guacamole. We're just going to spice it before we toss it. Now I use cayenne pepper. Again, this adds another level of heat. That's up to you. You don't have to. Just a little sprinkling. Sea salt. And again, this is all solely up to you. It's to taste. And black pepper. Like 20 shakes, 20 turns, something like that. I toss it all together. Just make sure it's all well mixed. And voila, you have a perfect accompaniment for your chicken and your roasted beets. You have a beautiful meal. You can always make another green vegetable if you want and add it, but you're getting a lot of vegetables in this and a lot of vitamins. So there you go. Beets are ready. I'm going to take them out of the oven. Oh, look at them. They're perfect, perfect. Before I take a bite, I'm inviting my camera woman around. Come on, Tony Karachi.
This is against my will.
I'll cut it in half.
All right, here's the taste test.
Here we go. Piece of chicken, some guacamole, and can we squeeze a beet on there? Let's do it. Oh, they're probably
There
hot.
we go, one bite. There we go.
Here we go.
This is why I do this.
She gets a to-go bag. Yum.
Yum.
Now, if you have any questions, come see me, come approach me at the gym. I'll be happy to answer any questions. I just want you to not be intimidated to make these delicious, quick meals. Feed yourselves healthy, exercise, eat right. It's going to benefit you so much. And till we see you again, thank you.